Wow, that was so fast. Hey guys, can everyone hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm streaming on a different platform, so yes, okay, yes. Kindness First and Love says, wishing stronger roots and foundations for everyone feeling the shifts right now. Whew. Hope this is all just tilling the earth for richer soils to nourish your new seeds of growth. I want to pin this. Oh my goodness, I wish I could pin this. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Welcome, everyone, to Astro Chat Live. Yes? Okay, good. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let me go ahead and go ahead and check this out real quick. All messages are visible. Yes, that's exactly what I want to see. YouTube was pushing some of the comments off, and I want to see all of the comments. I don't want the comments to dissolve. So Leslie is here. She says, hi, Jess. Hi, welcome. Nabang says, hi, Jess. Hello, darling. Jazzy Can Vibe says, hey, Jess. Kayla is here. She says, like the video, darlings. Yes, please. Please like the video. Ashley Young says, I was just vibing to some lo-fi. This is even better. Thank you. That's such an honor. Thank you. I'm listening to I'm listening to binaural beats right now. Alana Harvey says, just as I'm about to prepare dinner, what a blessing. Deepika is here. Hello, darling. Good to see you again. Saida says, let's all like the video. Yes, please, guys, give this video a thumbs up. It's very important that we're giving the video a thumbs up at the very start of our live. It helps YouTube to, I just figured out how to pin the comment. It helps YouTube figure out what is worth, in their minds, what's worth promoting or not. Okay. Say What says, hey, Jess. Bliss says, what kind of beats do you listen to? Right now, I'm listening to 40 hertz gamma binaural beats to increase productivity and focus. Yes, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We have 200 people in the chat with us right now. I am streaming from my iPad, so it's going to be a little different for me personally. We're just kind of trying it out for now. And yes, we have a solar eclipse later on this week, Sunday. We're going to talk about it all. There's so much to talk about. Oh, wait a minute. Let me check this. Leslie says, I'm drinking jasmine green tea with some vanilla creamer. That sounds absolutely amazing. Sereni Beads says, perfect timing, listening while I make jewelry for my new intuitive connection-based jewelry business. I'm so proud of you. That's so awesome. Congratulations. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Gem V says, yes. Hi, Jess. Perfect start to our moon day. Vibing to some cafe jazz music. No, we have a new moon that is happening the 20th. I'm sorry, the 10th. Wow. The 10th at 20 degrees Pisces. Yep, Ashley Young says, Spirit told me that there was something I needed to hear today and why I decided to take a moment to rest. Yes, guys. Oh, Brianna says, I'm cleaning while it's raining here in NOLA. It's divine. I just got a notification that it was raining in New Orleans and that everybody who was on like lower ground in the areas of the quarters that they could park to higher ground so they don't have to deal with the flooding and stuff. Nothing too crazy. It didn't seem too crazy. It's just those regular floodizations. I saw that Tasha was in here. Hello, darling. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and me tonight. Okay, yeah, Jessica Webb says, your dreams have been crazy. Girl, you and me both. Essence says, thank you for your money and abundance oil. I got into my new place because of it. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so happy that you're able to use it to manifest. I have used that oil to manifest my things too. Like just, the physical things that make life easier, more enjoyable. All right. We have 262 people who are in here live currently now. And I'm going to hit the screen on TikTok to go live there. And then, of course, we're going to go through all the rules of Astro Chat Live. If you guys are following here on YouTube, I highly recommend that you stay on the YouTube platform because you guys are going to have my undivided attention. Okay? If you're not following me on TikTok, I recommend it if you would like. TikTok, there's only one of me, BehatiLife. Okay? So we're going to go live there in 3, 2, 1. All right, my loves, thank you so much for hanging out and tuning in for Astro Chat Live. Tanisha says, your banished and Pluto oil is what I'm working on, and I definitely feel it working. Yeah, that is something. That oil is definitely something. I was just not fidgeting, but wrapping the banished oils. And I'm going to be making some Pluto oils, some Pluto death oils on the new moon, actually on Sunday. Okay. So Kayla says, I just used my vintage break the chain oil. That now would be an appropriate time to use that. Hey everyone, welcome from TikTok into Astro Chat Live. I'm Jess. For those of you guys that are brand new, welcome. We're going to be talking about the transits for this week ahead. There's a lot of major transits that I'm seeing, some things that feel really good and some things that I kind of want to caution you guys towards, especially towards the end of this weekend, or towards the end of this week, mostly into this weekend. Okay? Friday, Saturday, Sunday are days that we want to look out for. We also have a new moon that's happening on Sunday, but the energy around the end of this week is going to be a little interesting. So let's go ahead and start off, just kind of diving straight in. Let me go ahead and mute my music so that I don't get too distracted, because if there's one thing about me, I will get distracted. Alicia says, hey Jess. Hey Alicia, thank you so much. And Princess Honey joined. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. So as I was getting ready for the week ahead to talk to you guys about the week, I was doing a little bit of meditation and grounding of my own energy. Why? Because it's just so... for me, it feels so necessary. I always like to be very aware. Thank you guys so much for the heart on TikTok. I always like to be very aware of the energy that it is I bring to the circle, whatever that space is. And I did notice that this week, and I saw that you guys are seeing this too, that the energy feels a little frazzled, right? So far, it feels a little frazzled, a little bit of like friction, little tension, kind of, sort of. Part of this, before I dive into this, is taking a step back, looking at the fact that Venus, the planet that rules our beauty, love, and attraction, is still in a little hefty square with Uranus, who is ruling our stability or lack of stability right now. Now, whenever we see a personal planet engaging, interacting in any way, shape, or form, whether it be a trine, which they're like, hey, let's party, like they're both in cahoots, they both are in harmonious alignment together, to a square where there's some tension, some agitation, it doesn't matter. They tend to, this is where we tend to see, we tend to feel it really strongly, right? So Uranus transiting through Taurus, it has been the largest culprit, as well as Pluto, now newly into the sign of Aquarius, has been another large culprit of most of the agitation and transition that has been happening in our lives, right? This is going to feel different, and I talked about this last week. This is going to feel different than how we have been feeling it. Why? Because Pluto was taking years to transit through Capricorn, taking its time. Have you guys ever heard like familiar devils, like the things that you're familiar with, even though they may not be the most pleasant, they're the things that you're used to, you're accustomed to. So you have learned to kind of get set in your ways, and some of you may have accepted circumstances and stayed in those circumstances for too long, even though you know that this has played its course, right? Let's say this is not a relationship or career. For some of us, it could be staying in a space of immaturity, not wanting to, yes, Britt says the devil that you know, exactly. Kind of deciding, yeah, Jessica BG over here says familiar hell, yes. So kind of Yes, Nikki says the devil that you know versus the devil that you don't. Exactly. So sometimes it could be an inability to grow up, an inability to mature. For some, it can show up as what's required of us for the next stage, the next season within our lives. And we can find ourselves kind of straddling the edge of a cliff instead of having the strength, the courage, and everything. You could be setting intention, you could be working towards launching yourself into this new chapter, into this new beginning, into this fresh territory. But when it comes to jumping and breaking free of that karmic cord, or into this karmic, not in a bad way, but in a way that you have been called to, that you've been working towards, you find that there's a little bit of a delay. So now that Pluto has moved out of Capricorn, or there's hesitation within you, you might be second guessing yourself, you might be doubting, you might, now you have no space to do that any longer. Any type of cords, ties that were maybe for most people kind of almost assumed that they would last forever, ways that you're like, this is just who I am, I accept my circumstances, I can't change it. Now you're being forced to venture into new territory, into new chapter, and make some really difficult changes. Not only is it Pluto's transit through Aquarius that we're seeing, but Uranus transiting through Taurus has also, regardless of your sun, moon, rising, whether you're earth, fire, air, water, you feel this, because to an important extent, we all benefit from feeling grounded. We all benefit from feeling rooted. And as Uranus is transiting through the sign of Taurus, we have the planet of surprise and radical developments and innovation, inventions, which sounds exciting, which sounds exhilarating, which seems positive, which seems promising. It's like little grenades kind of popping off in your life. And these tiny grenades can seem like major changes, or it can be a ripple effect of what it looks like to want to require and to move forward into who you have transitioned into, who you have transformed into, what your life needs to look like now. So this could be little, with Uranus, this could, depending, this could look like little panic attacks. It could look like little expenses. For everyone, it's different depending on your personal charts. Remember, we're talking about very specific energies, but for your chart, it's going to be different, right? For everyone, it'll be different. So this Uranus transit through Taurus and Pluto now entering into the sign of Aquarius is, unfortunately, even though Taurus is very grounded, stable, stubborn, and doesn't like to move, Uranus is challenging that, as well as Jupiter is expanding it, making it bigger, larger, needs you to push up and out of yourself. Hallie says, I've been having panic attacks, and just the past 2 days expenses got tight. Yep. Singing Bluebird says, yes, definitely feels like the little pop-offs. Exactly. It can be really triggery. If you're someone who's felt very stable, this could be a blow to that sense of stability, right? Someone said, best astrologer in the world, I've been following for a minute. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Backped said, I totaled my car Saturday on the way to my first job, for the first day of my new job. Isn't that something? That's the other thing too. First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm not surprised to hear that, unfortunately. I'm really not surprised. I think I told you guys last week that to really slow down. I think during not last week, but the week before that, I've been telling you guys to really slow down and pay attention. And it's not just us, it's other people. There's this cloud, and we're going to be feeling it this weekend, definitely. I'm going to talk about this a little further. There's this cloud that's kind of fogging over people's common sense. Not to say, yes, Rebecca says a ton of car accidents have happened around me over the weekend. It's insane. TikTok, are you guys seeing car accidents too? Hopefully. Thank you so much, guys, for the heart. That's so cute. Yep. Backped says, I totally remember you saying that too. It's been on my mind. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Oh God. Ashanti says yes. My mom's truck was totaled. Wow. Um, Amanda says we're going right into heavy drinking holidays. Y'all don't go out if you don't need to. Exactly. You and me both, honey. We're gonna be hunkering in as much as possible. It's going to get. I didn't even realize that this is technically considered heavy drinking holiday, like holiday season. Yeah. Leanne says, "Oh my God, trucks blowing over on the 395. Wow. Yep. Oh wow, wow." Carrie says, "Not a crash. My mom's car is falling apart at the seams right now." Oh, see, that's the financial of it all. It like forces you to. Unfortunately, if it doesn't force you to invest, it forces you to be resourceful. Princess Faye says, "Driving home today, I saw 3 accidents." Wow. Cosmic Gumdrop says, "Mine and my boyfriend's car broke down in the Walmart parking lot last week." Yeah. Kimberly says, "I'm staying my ass home." Girl, you and me both. Oh no. Numerology Tarot just shared bad news about a car accident. So yeah, you just all of this week and all for now, guys, just drive slow. It's not even, and that's what bothers me is it's not always what we can control. It's the fact that other people aren't being thoughtful. Like they're not being considerate. They might be driving under the influence. People might be, stuck in their own head, in their own. It can just create a lapse of judgment. Not only can this open up the door for accidents. Do we have some disrespectful energy here? Yeah, like Kayla's saying, mind your mouth, peeps, because disrespect will get you tossed out. Yeah, we're just gonna make sure that we're all being respectful. I haven't seen anything, but I believe it. I trust it. Okay, she doesn't know anymore. All right, cool. Thank you, Kayla, for looking out. Yeah, just no driving with anger. No driving while distracted. It's not even just being behind the. It's not even just. T Light says my little cousin's car broke down at a Lowe's due to the wrong battery being put in. Do you see? That's what the other thing that I'm saying is like judgment. Um, like people's judgment, like their thinking, like their critical thinking skills or double checking things are things that seem really skewed. Usually we do see this with Pisces energy or Neptune, any type of Neptune influence, but we're definitely going to be feeling it this week strongly. For the person who's asking if my camera is moving, it is on my on the YouTube. For those of you guys that are following on TikTok, feel free to follow on YouTube as well, because that's where we're going live. And then also all my other videos. So yeah, you're not crazy. So I do want to say that we are starting off. We are starting off with a little bit of tension. I see this more as an opportunity. Like for me personally, the way that I felt this, I'm seeing this as an opportunity to kind of revisit my own growth. Just kind of seeing how far I've come and remembering that if this is how far I've come in my life and my journey, and that was quote unquote who I was, and how I processed things and how I was functioning. These are things that are very much a part of my reality now. I honor who I was, but now today, I check in still with that past self. I check in with my present self so that I can help prep and plan for my future self. And that's kind of how I've been working with this energy for me, because this has brought up a lot of opportunity for me to reflect on priorities, on my goals, on how I'm taking care of myself, relationships, etc., etc. Yeah. Purple Ocean Zebra says I was doom scrolling on TikTok and saw your live, which I forgot about, so I jumped on here immediately. Yeah, for any questions, Tasha's right. You can go ahead and send an email at info@BehatiLife, and yes, the emails are working. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is that we are starting off this week with this beautiful little sextile between Mercury, the planet that rules our communication, and Uranus, also, like we were talking about, in the sign of Uranus. Sorry, my nose is tickling. So with this transit right away, this can open up the door for brilliant ideas. It can open up the door for interesting conversations, dialogue, communication, even though it's direct, like perfectly direct on the 4th, which is today. We are going to be feeling it. You probably already started feeling it the last few days, and you're going to be feeling this into middle of this week. Basically, what you can expect from this energy, and everybody is different, is someone here in the group or collectively, there's a need to talk about, there's a need for conversation or communication, right? This is a wonderful time for affirmations, for trying to gain clarity, for making sure that you are being clear, for making sure that if you feel like you're being clear, that you're being understood, right? This is where you check, double check, triple check, and make sure that the message is being not only delivered but received, and then not only received but understood. Okay, so also for those of you guys that are interested in creative, right, like the creative fields, if you're writers, if you are in customer service, Mercury and Uranus together, that little sextile, can be really supportive for communication. Okay, ideas, having like brilliant little concepts. These are the times, especially, remember how I was kind of talking about earlier with the illusion or the delusion, the filter that it is that we all seem to be kind of under the influence of. This is a wonderful time for creativity, for imagining, for setting intention, for vision boarding, for collecting the image, right? Getting divinely inspired and collecting the image to reflect where you are being divinely called and inspired in your life right now. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm being called to pivot over and talk about Chiron right now, which is interesting because there's no major transit that I'm seeing right now with Chiron. Okay, maybe, yeah. It's interesting. I just really intuitively felt to talk about Chiron, and the next transit that we're going to be feeling with Chiron is actually Mars. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and honor my intuition here and just kind of vibe with this. For those of you guys that don't know, Chiron is the asteroid that rules the part of ourselves that is wounded or that has trauma, like the soft wounded space within every single one of our cells. And now that maybe someone here needs to look at their Chiron within their personal chart, where does Chiron fall within your natal? I actually feel really strongly called to look into this, so I would I'm going to write this down. I'm going to look at this for myself as well. Basically right now Chiron is transiting through Aries, and I've talked about this before, but Spirit's kind of wanted me to talk about it now. Chiron, when it's transiting through Aries, it's challenging how you view yourself. Actually, you know what I just felt here? That for someone here with Chiron being activated right now, your inner child or wounds from childhood might be activated and might be triggered by this transit with Mars. With Mars transiting through the sign of Aquarius, this can bring up feelings of things being out of control. There might be a trigger when it comes to detachment and disconnection. Someone here, this may feel like they self-sabotage or trigger. I'm going to trigger alert this a little bit. I'm just going to talk to you guys real quick about this, but like self-harm, being really careful about this. I don't know why this is coming up, but I genuinely feel Spirit nudging me to talk about that right now, like really strongly right now. If this is the case, guys, these are types of transits, right? If this is the case, these are the types of transits where it's so important, where you ask for help, you ask for support. Remember, Chiron is currently transiting through the sign of Aries, and Aries makes us not focus on ourselves, but it makes us fight for ourselves. It makes us advocate for ourselves. It makes us question our self-worth, our identity. Who am I? And if we're not careful, the same transit that is making you a stronger, better person can also be feeling like it's whittling away. You have to understand that oftentimes, whether you believe this or whether you don't, this is the truth, right? That the same parts of ourselves that feel weakened, that feel vulnerable, that feel threatened, that we don't think are our strengths, inevitably end up become our greatest strengths, because they're initially first our weaknesses. There is a crazy humbling that I'm seeing within the charts right now. This could, by humbling, I mean you may need to surrender. Okay, let me just kind of channel this right now, because this is what's coming through. With Mars transiting through the sign of Aquarius, with Venus transiting through the sign of Aquarius, there is a huge emphasis on the word detachment, releasing, letting go, surrendering our ability to control, to know, to plan, to predict, to show up in the same way, the strong way. The way that we feel gives us value, that gives us power, that gives us force, that gives us will. How we identify ourselves. I am. This is who I am. And when Chiron and Mars get into this little aspect here, it's a sextile. It's sextile, so it should be quote unquote pleasant. But anytime when we see any type of planet meeting, like planet and asteroid meeting, just because it seems positive doesn't mean that it's gonna feel positive, right? It can still be a trigger moment. It's up to us ultimately. What we do with this when we get triggered by this. So I don't know where this, what this will look like for you, or if you already may be feeling this, but the direct opposite of Aries right now is Libra. And with Libra, this is about partnership. It's about harmony. It's about, for someone here, you got to look at who's around in your closest circle within the family that you were born into, also the family that you create. Are these people that you can trust? Is this a safe place for you to land when you are vulnerable? Visualizing yourself in this space, let's say visualizing yourself in your home, let's say with the seventh house, right? Seventh house rules relationships. Is your partner, let's say you're married or in a relationship, and you see yourself with this person forever, is this someone that you can see that when you are scared, when you are vulnerable, when you are weak, and you are not at your prime of being courageous and can fight, you might need hands down, right? Like your hands are down. I've got my hands up. I've got no weapons on me. You just showing up. Does that person also, are they also weaponless, or is that their opportunity to attack? Is that their opportunity? Do they see you in your weakened state as an opportunity for them to rise up, to take advantage, to take control of the situation, not in a way that is positive and constructive for you or even the relationship, but in a way that proves their point about something? Someone here needs to know that their spirit is showing you your life, like this is being illuminated to you. This is something that is illuminating for you to start to see it, right? If you don't feel like, let's say this is a friendship, right? Let's say this is someone that you think is your other half. The divine sees character and sees energy and sees intention faster than sometimes we accept. It's not that we don't see it. It's oftentimes that we don't necessarily accept what it is that we are seeing. Sometimes we push it aside. Sometimes we put it on the back burner. Sometimes we second guess ourselves, question ourselves. We gaslight ourselves or allow others to gaslight us. This is one of those situations where you're starting to really see that this person, this thing, the situation is not your equal. And that when your hands are down, when you are vulnerable, it's again, if this energy really does care about you and support you, then when you are at your weakest and when you are falling apart, they should be the ones who are protecting you, understanding you, asking what it is that you need. Asking how can I help, whatever the situation is here. If not, then this is what looking at the Aries energy right now, Chiron transiting through Aries, looking at this energy, you would have to ask yourself, would I be better off? Because Aries is the first zodiac sign Oh, would I be better off alone? Would I be better off self-isolated? Would I be better off solo dolo, right? Aries is the first sign of the entire zodiac, the first leader, right? That is the masculine energy that leads the rest of the zodiac because it had the courage to take the leap, or it felt forced to take the leap. Whatever the circumstances are, right? So it's not until it goes through the entire journey of each of the zodiac houses until it gets to Libra, like the seventh house, the very opposite of that, where it starts to take others into consideration and partnership. Because the opposite of that, it was only focusing on the self. This is the energy where there's a part of you that is learning that you don't need to be self-reliant in the way that it is that you've known how to be all this time. There's a time and a place, and there should be a community and support or partnerships or relationships that can see that softness and see that vulnerability and that weakness and know that you're worthy of protecting and want to be able to come to you and to protect you and to look out for you. Okay? With no strings attached. With no strings attached. With no, like, you owe me. Okay? That's interesting that I felt really called strongly to talk about Chiron here. When it comes to, I don't say, this may not necessarily be relationships, connections. It could be how you view yourself, how you show up for the world, how you view the world. If you're someone who has gone through a lot of trauma, you might be someone who has a defense. You may have heard that, people find you intimidating. There's something about you where, you like, you may not feel, people, the way that you approach the world is that you see people or you see the world as a threatening place. Not only is this what you see it as, but your perception is reflecting onto the world, right? So other people start to see you, so they sense that, and their defense goes up, right? Then they are on edge. They can sense that the energy is friction, and they can sense that. So instead of disarmoring the situation, you've activated the situation. If this is someone here, you have to kind of detach. You have to detach and start to see yourself and say, what is the energy that I bring? Now, for someone here, right, when you are showing up agitated or angry or frustrated, usually it's because of hurt, of pain, sadness, a refusal to be vulnerable. I understand that, but this is a week, this time, to kind of begin to reflect and change that energy. Change that energy, or start to look for help, support, so that you're not threatened by the world, and the world doesn't feel threatened when you show up, because inherently that's not who you are. That's not who any human being is, unless there's something really, really, really aggressively off, and that's less than 1% of this population of the world. The whole world isn't like that. You're not like that. If you're in this group, if you're in this chat right now, chances are you're not someone who is detached from that way right now. Detached from your heart in that way right now is what I'm trying to say. Does anybody have any questions or anything? If this makes sense, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up for me, please. On YouTube, we have almost 500 people streaming right now. Thank you for the thumbs up. And 251 likes. That means a little over half. I don't know, guys. I suck at math, okay? Okay, Kayla says we're all just heavy breathing over here. It's so funny. Yes, we'll take more likes. We'll take more likes. Okay. Divine Aura says, what does it mean if the part of fortune is transiting my third house? Listen, I do genuine, real astrology, so to just look at that one one transit without looking to see what your part of fortune might be also touching within your astrology chart would be doing you a disservice. Yeah. Let me catch up on these comments over here. Serene Bead says, yep, my dogs are mouth breathing next to me too. Yes. Earth Angel Harmony says, I'm new to understanding my natal chart. How do I find where my Chiron is? So Chiron looks like this. Let me show you. I just wrote that. It might be a little backwards because the camera, for those of you guys that are looking over here, Chiron looks like this. I use astro.com, not sponsored, although I wish it was. And you're going to want to put in your birth date, birth time, birth location, and pull up your natal chart, and you're going to have to click in the extended version, like extended chart version, and then look up asteroids and other planets, and then look for Chiron, and then this symbol will then appear. If it doesn't automatically appear. You may have to add it there specifically. I think it should automatically show up. It's such an important asteroid. Moving forward, this is a wonderful time too this week in order to get vulnerable, talk about your feelings, talk about even the more difficult feelings and if you feel like you can't talk about those difficult feelings, that is telling you a lot all by itself. Who and what you can trust, and why or why not you feel like you can talk about your feelies. Let's go ahead and let me see what else that I have here that I wrote down for us to talk about. Yeah, we pretty much talked about the more important things. We're starting off, I know that this is probably a little bit late, but right now the moon is currently just recently, before we went live, entered into the sign of Capricorn. Almost the entire chunk of the start of this week is going to feel a little bit sobering, right? This could go from someone having I don't mean to laugh, I can relate to it, having wishful thoughts and wishful visions of it could be like this, or being very optimistic and saying just only considering the positive, only considering the best. And then the moon transits into the sign of Capricorn, and now all of a sudden the mood shifts into thinking about it's just more sobering. It's more a reflection on reality. And sometimes for people here, this can feel a little dip in the mood. It can feel a little disappointing, defeating, but for the most part, this is the universe's way of asking you to be really serious about whatever it is that you're facing right now, right? There's a time and a place, definitely, for being optimistic and positive and hoping for the best. And then there's times and moments where we want to have a realistic plan, a realistic concrete plan for ourselves for the future, just in case things don't end up being so rainbow ponies and peppercorn, right? So I love that I just said peppercorn. Okay, Madi De La Luna says, my partner and I have had the worst arguments and conversations we've ever had, and it's causing me to spiral terribly. By worst, I mean disrespectful and angry. Yeah, that's definitely coming from a place, unfortunately. I can see that. Yeah, Leslie says, Capricorn here, sober me. Sober me is a love language. Sobering energy is probably a love language, is probably what you're saying. Yeah, it's not that. Sometimes when people think of a reality check, they immediately go into negativity. I don't think that Capricorn energy is inherently negative. I see it more as, okay, if the best happens, that's great. But best case scenario, I'm going to have a plan. There's going to be something set into motion, and then if it's greater than that, then that's great. But we have something to land on. I've already built something here. There's something here. right? Capricorn also is the highest, is the plan for the highest that we can achieve, the highest achievement that we could ever go to, that we could ever possibly strive for in our lives, in our careers, in our relationships. So starting off this week is that really tough, difficult conversation, or self-reflecting moment, or news that you hear that says, wow. For some of you guys, it could be something as simple or as serious as like, I missed a lot of time in this area or in this one relationship, let me go back to that. So, and then you can plan all the beautiful things with this Mercury sextile Uranus, all the beautiful things that it is that you guys can do together now that you're going to make up time. But the sobering reality is that we lost time and we can't get that time back. So this is that energy of like, hey, this is the reality check here. Now let's go. Lauren says Cap here, and I plan and control a little too much. How do you personally stop yourself from trying to plan and predict? I'm probably not the right person to ask that, because I try to plan out a lot. Well, for me personally, I don't really have a good, I don't know. I'm probably not the right person to ask. You guys know I'm always going to be authentic with you. Always going to be 100%. Oh, thank you for the hearts. How do I not plan and over predict? Or like, how do I not do that? I'm a worrier, and I will say that the energy that I need the most is prayer and intention. If I am not praying, if I'm not setting intention, if I haven't talked to the divine, if I neglect that, I will lose myself in all of the many thoughts that I can think, all of the many worries that I can have. If I am not praying, if I don't go to my altar, if I'm not grounding myself through gardening, through going for walks, to going to the ocean, I will find I lose myself in it all. And it can go from organized, trusting, high vibrational, to chaotic, frazzled, powerless, lost, emotional, unbalanced, quick enough. And I say that as just being totally transparent and totally honest, because I don't ever want, and I'm really glad that you asked that question, because I'm not someone who naturally, I don't like change. I don't like change. I don't like not knowing. I'm not a big fan of surprises. And I can get spooked very easily. So, yeah, Kristen says the whole range of unhinged. You might not see it on the outside, but I know myself, and I know what it feels like when I'm ungrounded. I know what it feels like, and I don't like that for myself. I feel like I deserve to feel safe, to feel supported, to feel stabilized, and it is something that I know from experience. Those feelings have to come from within me. Even though my outside world may seem, in my mind, on a good day, it may seem like my outside world is like organized, or things are working out, or everything's going to work out in my favor. And then I believe that it is. What is actual true is that I believed and I was okay with the circumstances. That whatever I was perceiving made it so. And then I became okay with it. Versus the next day, or within 4 hours, if I go in that same space and look at it, I can maybe potentially, because of my perspective, see everything wrong, see everything skewed, and not be okay. And that reflects to me all that it is that I'm not doing, all that it is that I can't complete, all the things that it is that I am not. And that can feed. And the only thing that changed is my perspective. There are days where I can be on top of the world getting all the things done and feel powerful and controlled enough and empowered enough and nourished enough to be able to do it and to have hope and to be inspired and to still come up with more things, you know, more things to give, to contribute. And then there's other days where I could be looking at the same thing and just feel like this is a fail, you know, this is a whole fail. So at the end of the day, the thing that works for me in every single aspect of my mind is prayer and perspective. If it wasn't for prayer, setting intention, grounding myself, ritual, altar, like going to my altar, and that altar may look like where I burn my candles. That altar may look like the space right beside my chicken coop. The altar may look like this as soon as you walk into the house. If I'm able to have those times for my spiritual relationship with the divine, then I'm okay with the trust fall almost immediately after. Yeah. So I say that, and I hope that that answers that question. Whew. Okay. Queen Alcine, that's a beautiful name, and I'm probably not saying that correctly. It says, facts, getting present is different for everyone, but once you know what you truly like, getting present isn't as hard as you think. For me, I don't think of it as hard or easy. It is what it is, because what makes it I guess easier, if we want to use that word, is being consistent. Consistency is everything. For those of you guys that Desi says, I hate that as soon as I got my tax money, your shop was already sold out. Yeah. We're gonna be opening up. We'll be opening up shortly, but I want to make sure that I'm getting out my orders that are currently now. I don't have closed caption on right now, for those of you guys that are asking, because I'm streaming from a different platform right now. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on, because we have a ton of other things that we need to dive into. Okay, starting with let's go ahead and talk about this weekend. The thing that's really bothering me, because we have 10 minutes left. The transit that's really bothering me is the fact that Mercury is going to be directly conjunct Neptune on the 8th, right? Put a pin in this. Starting on the 8th, which is a Friday, but I really want you guys to keep an eye out for it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. These transits are going to, and I'm not setting intention for this, but these transits can be a little whoop-assy, to put it blatantly. Okay. The reason why is because Mercury, the planet that rules how we process information and our ability to process, to think, to analyze, to articulate, is going to be directly conjunct Neptune, the planet of illusion, fantasy, filter, deception. And when these two align, oh wait, Megan says I have surgery on Thursday. I hear you. I have a doctor's appointment too, actually. If you don't mind, feel free to you're fine. Wisdom tooth girl, you're good. You're good. Does anybody else have any major surgeries? Not this weekend. No way. A wisdom tooth, you're fine. That's going to be good. That's fine. It is considered a surgery. Any type of... Does anybody else have any major surgeries on organs? Anything like that? It's quiet. Oh, state test for a dream job? You're fine. Yeah, she says I'm so stressed out. No, you want to talk about wisdom teeth? It is so... Literally what they do is... They literally crack the tooth, they numb you, they crack the tooth, they gut, just kind of knock it and pull it out in little tiny chunks. It'll be fine, I promise you. Yeah. Yeah, the Tarot Barbie says I have a wisdom tooth scheduled for April 30th and I'm terrified. Don't be. It's going to be great. You're going to be fine. Yes, look at that. Beckped says my wisdom teeth surgery was so easy I went to B-dubs that night. See? Okay, Oregon says surgeries and dentals all week. I'm a vet assistant. No, are you on the receiving end of a surgery? Okay, Paige says I got an MR and I have an MRI. That's okay. That's different. That's okay. Yeah, Ashanti says I was seeing about possible ovarian cyst removal, but I'm seeing multiple. Good. Explore your options. See, you guys are doing the right thing here. Wonderful. Kristen says I've only had one. It was impacted and I giggled the entire time. See, don't worry about the wisdom tooth. I only had one. It was so impacted and I giggled. That's impacted is when it's like quote unquote the worst, and it's not. They typically do get impacted because they grow. I love that this is turning into like dental conversation, but they typically do get impacted because they grow, you know, not this way. That's the problem. It's interesting that it's called wisdom because it's like kind of like stupid, you know, a little bit, but okay, that's different. Okay, I have an iron infusion Thursday. That's different too, right? That's different. Ooh, Undefined Beauty is here. Welcome, honey. No, is major surgeries, I will say, like, okay, sorry, I was like reading this. Christian says one wisdom tooth. Anyone else have one? I do. I think I have one on this side that I didn't get removed. I didn't even, for me personally, I have a high tolerance or whatever. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Nia says, yeah, I had all 4 impacted wisdom teeth. My face was, I think you're saying swollen, like a Cabbage Patch doll. Yeah, it does swell. It does swell, but you won't feel it. Oh, I forgot I have jury duty. He calls me Redbone. She goes, I have to go to court on Wednesday for custody, no surgery. You'll be fine. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, Cosmic Gumdrop says I have driver's test on the 14th after years of being scared of it. You'll be fine. All of these things are really good. Really good. That's perfect. No, it's okay, Nia. I figured that you were saying what you're saying. Yeah. Kayla says Jess on jury duty is going to be everything. They do not want me on jury duty. I'll probably be like, they're all fucking guilty. Let's go to Starbucks. Yeah, you guys are, you'll be fine. Yeah, don't be nervous. As the main thing that I was talking about here is just surgeries. I'm not a fan of anybody. A root canal isn't considered. I mean like something with your guts, your organs. As long as it's not your guts, your organs, I feel like you're fine. Beloved says, is it okay to quit my job this week? If you feel called, do it. Yeah. The other thing is travel, right? Travel during this time, I don't see it as a negative thing at all. I see this as travel, making sure that we're traveling safely in the way that is that you can control, right? Meaning like if you have to travel on a plane, you can't control what the pilots are doing, and it 10 times out of 10 it's going to be safe, versus let's say you're road tripping, right? And you find that you're like, okay, I'm going to have earbuds in, and my dog is going to be unleashed in the back seat, and my cat is going to be in the front seat, and then I'm also going to have a smoothie and a shamrock shake and this over here. Like, then we have chaos. Not only because that is chaotic, but because this situation is ripe for slow judgment, slow thinking, and not rational. Like, there's, when they say like common sense, this is like one of those things where we miss the common sense. Infinite Soul says, I'm going to Hawaii, 10-hour flight. So this would be a wonderful time to travel long distance because the sleep is going to be phenomenal. Like, these are the types of transits that it's not that it's going to be dangerous. You know, if you're flying long hours and things like that, this is where, you know, have whatever it is that you do before a flight to relax yourself, if that's even a situation. My sister actually enjoys flying. She is actually going to Mount Everest, I believe, and she's like loves that. Um, she literally was telling me that before her flight, she's like, I can't relax until I'm on the plane. I'm the polar opposite. If I'm on a plane, I can't relax. So everyone's different, but as long as it's like, as long as you can relax during it, you'll be fine. What? Jess, I have a random question. Why do you think millennials and Gen Zs take to alcohol so easily now? Don't even get me started. I think there's a lot of influence of people. I think, don't even get me started. I'm going to sound like the biggest conspiracy theorist, but I will say this. I don't think that our government, and the way the astrology charts are panned out, you can kind of see like the need to kind of like push people under the influence, kind of numb them. Yeah. So, but that's a whole topic for another conversation. Anyways, guys, my energy is dipping. I hope that this has helped. We're at an hour anyway. Yeah. I would just say that if you're driving short distances, something as like going to Target, running errands, taking a 2-hour, 3-hour drive, these are things that we want to go safe. We tread slowly, we drive safely. When it comes to communications, conversation, relationships, friendships, there's a high chance of being having misunderstanding, miscommunication, intentions miscued, people deceiving, a little deceptive. I would, if I were you, and this is my plan, this is another time that I'm talking about that. Kayla says, drive like your grandpappy if you drive slow. Driving slow doesn't equate to driving safely. I'll say that. Drive carefully, whatever that looks like. Yeah. Okay, sorry guys, my energy is dropping. I'll have and we're at an hour anyway. For the new moon, the eclipse, March 10th, we will talk about this. I'll have a whole video up for you guys on that. Hopefully before the end of tomorrow or the end of Wednesday, because Sacred Circle. Until then, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm gonna end TikTok. Bye. And everybody else, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Feel free. Oh, thank you so much for the Astro chat. The super chat. That's what it is. All right, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.